Hey guys, so I'm bringing you guys my underrated standalone books. Um, these are definitely underdogs. Don't hear enough about them. I don't know what people are thinking. They're crazy. And sorry, I'm chewing gum. My throat is so dry. I could have gotten bottle of water, but yeah, I'm too lazy to go out in the garage. So if I'm chopping my gum like a cow, I'm sorry. I know that's like pretty much everyone's pet peeve. Chopping gum, food, whatever. Sorry. But I'll try not to. Yeah. I don't verbal on and on about these books. Because I have so many. So I'm going to try to keep it tame, so yeah. The first one I have is Runaway by Randall Van Dralen. This one is set, it's a diary format, first of all. And I freaking love it. I never heard of it before. And when I saw it in the library, actually, I read it first when I checked it from the library, excuse me. I couldn't talk and chew at the same time. It's so hard. Yeah, you can tell I'm definitely a multitasker, but anyway, sorry. Okay, so, I don't know if you ever heard of the Nancy Drew, the Stephen Key series. It's a middle grade series, and Stephen Key's is kind of like a Nancy Drew. So, yeah. Well, in this specific, Stephen Key's book, there's this character named Holly, and, I actually really loved that specific Stephen Key's book. I haven't read any other Stephen Key's besides that one. Well, anyway, I guess, Waylon's husband, whoever, read that specific book, was like, and told Waylon, was like, I really want to know more about the character Holly. So she wrote this specific book about Holly and Holly's point of view and stuff, and what made her so rough around the edges and stuff. And I love it. It's definitely a juvenile standalone, I believe, but I still loved it. I read it when I was 16 and thought it was one of my favorite books ever, so I really want to reread it again now that I own it. But yeah, and it's definitely underrated. I never heard anything about it. I actually never really hear anything about this author or any of her books, so yeah, I definitely need to check it out. The next one is actually pretty cool. It's ML grade too, and it's by Jennifer Rabin. And it's kind of two stories, and you can read it in like 30 minutes if you're a really fast reader. But it's kind of like one of those flip books, and it's what if I missed the bus and became the school loser, and what if I almost missed the bus and I became Miss Popularity. It's like really awesome. It's really fast, and yeah. But I think my favorite one is the school loser one, to be honest with you. So, and I never heard anything about this either, and I think I stole it or something. I think it was a library book. Oops. But, the next one I talked about before, so I'm not going into too much depth about it, but it's Things Not Seen by Andrew Clements. Besides my friend reading it back in middle school, I mean, I don't know anyone else who've read this book. It's about this boy named Bobby who wakes up one morning to find himself invisible, and yeah, it's incredible, and yeah. The next one, I think it's a little bit more well known, but it's also by Wendell Van Dralen, and it's flipped, and a movie came out for this book back in 2010, and I freaking loved it, but the book, I don't think it is as well known as I would hope for, but yeah, I grew up with this book, and I freaking love it, and yeah. But if you don't know what it's about this boy named Bryce and this girl named Julie. When they met, Bryce cannot stand her, and Julie is like obsessed with him. And then fast forward a few years, and in 8th grade, Julie starts not caring for Bryce, and Bryce is starting to kind of have feelings for Julie, and it's kind of like craziness, and their feelings flipped. No pun intended. Okay, that pun was kind of intended, but anyway, yeah. The next one is Define Normal by Julie Ann Peters, and it's just real life issues, like middle grade also, again. Sorry, there's a lot of middle grade books here. Oh well, sorry, I'm not gonna apologize, I guess. I shouldn't apologize. I love these books. I think one of the reasons why I love this one so much is I just thought it was real and stuff. Besides mystery, realistic fiction was my favorite genre back in middle grade, so yeah. The next one is not specifically this book, it's anything by this author, and that is Joan Lowry Nixon. And I'm not sure if she wrote any series, but I know that from the what I've read, it's all standalone books. But she was my favorite author back in middle school, and I think actually she's the reason why I said mystery was my favorite genre. And yeah, she is just incredible, and I really want to reread more of her I want to reread more of her books now. I haven't read a book in so long by her. I think it's been a few years, to be honest with you, but yeah, I really want to read it to find the love again. But I don't know anyone who wrote any of her books, so yeah. The next one is The Serious Kiss by Marion Hogan, and this one's actually really cute. I was surprised how much I liked it, and it's about this girl named Libby who really wants a serious kiss and stuff, and she ends up moving away from her friends and stuff. And what I like about this, it's not like she isn't obsessed about it. It's like there's real life issues that deals with in this book. Like her dad drinks a little bit too much, and her mom's obsessed with fast food and stuff, and that's why I like it so much. But I read this back when I was 14, I want to say. I know I was in middle school, and after all these years, I still haven't heard anyone else. I don't know anyone else that's read this book, so it's kind of what the heck. But I'm sure people out there, obviously on Goodreads and stuff, but seriously, come on. I don't hear anyone talk about this book at all, so I definitely recommend it. I really want to reread it. I don't know if I said read in the beginning of read, but reread. Anyway, I don't know what I'm saying. It's 10-ish o'clock at night, and I'm tired already. Yeah, already. I'm 22. This isn't good. I'm getting tired at 10 o'clock at night. Anyway, the next book, I'm not going to go into too much detail about it, because I've talked about it before, but it is Looking for Cassandra Jane by Melody Carlson. She's one of my favorite authors, and yeah, definitely, I know that she's definitely well known in more of the Christian community, I guess, but outside of the Christian community, I don't think she's that well known. But if you're not Christian, I still recommend this specific book to you. I love it. It's set in the 1960s, and it's about this girl who finds herself in a cult, and yeah. And yeah, anyway. The next one is Don't Think Twice by Ruth Pannebaker, and this one is about this girl named Anne who's 17 and finds herself in a unwed mother, living home for unwed mothers, and she just thinks that she's going to carry this baby and give it up for adoption and then go back to her life before she got pregnant. And I love this book. Let me tell you, there's nothing really happens in this book, but there's so much character development that makes me fall in love with this book. Really want to read this. Actually, I want to read pretty much all these books that I have in the stack. But yeah, I don't know why I barely hear anyone talk about any of these books, but this was the one that I don't think I hear anyone talk about at all. Yeah. The next one is Nightmare by Robin Parrish, and this one's actually really shocking to me. It wasn't as good as I hoped, but it was better than I thought it was going to be. And it wasn't what I expected. One chapter is back in the past, and the next is kind of in the present. And it's about this girl named Maya. She's the daughter of ghost hunters. And then one day at a amusement park, she ends up seeing her friend as a ghost, and her friend is asking for help. So the present time is her trying to find a friend with her friend's fiance, and then in the past it's her hanging out with a friend and just details about why her friend's disappearance and everything. So yeah, it's really crazy, and kind of made me look at things kind of in a different perspective, I guess. But I still don't believe in ghosts, but it made me look at things differently. But yeah, and I definitely recommend that. And it's what I don't know. The next one is A Tailor-Made Bride by Karen Whitemeyer. When it took me 6 months to take this on my TBR shelf and actually read it, and I was really impressed by it. It's definitely enjoyable. I was just definitely really surprised with how much I liked this book, but it's I haven't really heard anything about it when I saw it. I pretty much got this just because it was bargain price, and that's all. I never heard anything about it. I don't really know many people who've read historic romance, and the ones that I do know have never read this book before, so yeah. The next one, if you never read, like, I'm pretty sure that in the people who've read historic romance, that this is popular or whatever, but if you don't, I don't think it is. I find it kind of an underdog, but I think that's because I specifically don't read just historic romance, but yeah. Anyway, it's Redeeming Love by Francine Rivers, and this is one of my favorite books, and it's kind of a big chunker, but it's a standalone too. And this book, actually, I have this will always be in my heart, is what I'm trying to say. I have a soft spot for it. Soft spot. This book actually gave me, okay, what am I trying to say? This book gave historic romance a shot for me, because when my friend gave me this for my 19th birthday, I'm like, I don't read historic romance, but it was like, you know what, she was trying to be nice, she knows I love to read. When I read it, I freaking fell in love. I was like, what? It was just, yes, but because of this book, I started to give historic romance a shot, so, yeah. The next books are more kind of like non-fiction books, but it's I Kissed Dating Goodbye by Joshua Harris, and this is kind of more like his opinion, I guess, in a way, but I read this when I was 14, I freaking loved it, and yeah, I don't really know what to say about this. I really want to reread it, and I can't believe I still remember some of the details, but yeah, I was really not impressed with it, but I know my best friend's currently reading this, but besides her, I mean, I know that her brother read it, but besides them, I don't know anyone who've read it or heard of it or anything, so yeah. The next one is A Piece of Cake by Cupcake Brown. I don't really know anyone who's read this one. When I was in 10th grade, my teacher saw me reading this, and she was like, oh, I read that book, and I'm like, what, seriously, you did? But besides her, I don't really know anyone that's read this book, and I definitely think it's underrated. It's definitely a really good memoir. If you don't really like memoirs, try this. It's kind of like, depressing, and there's a lot of like vulgar things that happens in this book, but if you don't really have a strong stomach, then don't read it, but if you do, just give it a shot. And the last book I have here, again, it's a memoir, and it's autobiography, whatever, and it's Still Growing, and it's Kirk Cameron's, and you don't know who he is. He played in Growing Pains, the 80s show, and there are some things that go on in this book that he mentions. I'm like, that happened? That's crazy. And I really enjoy that. And I don't really hear anyone talk about his autobiography and stuff. But yeah. Anyway, so that was it. And hope you enjoyed this video. And if I got you to read some of these, yay. If you check them out and stuff and actually do read them, thank you. And I hope I recommended you some of really good books. Hopefully you like them if you read them. But yeah, these are my underdog books, underrated ones. I probably might update this video later on, like in a few months or in a year or something. But yeah, so that was it. Bye.